What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be stretching this fence tight, putting it back on the post. This is what they call a Texas fence stretcher. Nice thing about this is, other than buying the stretcher itself, as long as you have some spare bob wire around, or just wire in general, you don't have any other expense in it, which is nice for me because I'm trying to do stuff as cheap as possible. Quality, but not spend an arm and a leg doing it. But it's pretty easy to operate. They got these grooves in here. I don't know if you guys can see those, but you line the wire up in that, and then you'll kind of bring it together, and then you just close it as far as it'll go, which this will probably go all the way because this is a really loose fence. And then you can just lock it. Just lock it in these chain loops, and it'll just sit there, and you can tie your wire around it, suck it up, and be all right. Which we'll get a close up of what that looks like here, but I'll just get started. Which, for a fence like this, I might have to do this twice, because it's right in between being able to cut it, splice it, and do that, but I don't have any of that with me. Oh yeah, it might work out just well. Just like that. Oh yeah. That looks good. We'll do a close-up of what that looks like here. Let me move the camera. There, we got you set up a little bit better angle, but so we have our fence tightened. We'll just cut ourselves a piece of wire about yay so. I don't know, I usually go about 6 inches on either side, but outside of our bars. This is how I do it. I'm sure there's a better way, and I'm sure someone will tell me, but whatever, teach them. Cut that guy. I'll just go over the top. I'll just wrap it around. A couple times. That should be plenty. And the key to, which I don't know, obvious to some, others maybe not, is to do it both the same way. What do you mean by that? The wire is going on, say, the outside of it, and they're both wrapping the same way, because when you start twisting this, you might, one side will get super tight, the other side won't work out too well. So that should work like that. I just use one of these, but use what you got. And then just start twisting it. And it should take all the slack out of this. Should be good to go. And you can kind of tell when it starts getting really tight, because it'll even kind of suck in a little bit, and taking your chain loops off becomes a lot easier. But like I said, this is the way I do it. Whatever. I'm not opposed to advice, but each their own. Alright. Take this bad boy off, pinch it together a little bit. Go to open. There you go. And that is a heck of a lot better than what it was. This is just a five strand fence. The bottom hard touching the ground in the middle. So yeah, it needed it, but that's how you do that. So we'll just keep chugging away. I just have 4 T-posts to pick up and just retamp them down. Should be good to go for today. So let's talk about, again, I'm never going to claim to be an expert, but I don't know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But let's talk about what's going on in the cattle world, or just the world in general. Trump wants to, as of today, he announced he wants to import 4 times the amount of beef from Argentina that they already were, to help bring down the price of beef for consumers. I don't know. Sheriff boss coming by. Glad they aren't after me. But I don't know. Will it bring the price of beef down? Sure. I would imagine so. Will it be long term? Probably not. There ain't no way. Is beef high? I don't know. You ask the guy taking the cows and steers and everything to the sale barn, they'll probably say yes, but it's much needed. You ask the regular person going to buy beef at the grocery store, they're saying, yeah, it needs to go down. I don't know. What hasn't gone up ever since COVID? But I don't know. We can sit here and complain and try and do all this stuff, but it just seems like the little guy, family farms and stuff, are always the type that end up getting the short end of the stick. So, what do you do? I mean, I currently have 6 acres here that is just mine. I would love to find, I say 100 acres, 80 acres, but even like a 40-acre piece, build a house, expand the operation a bit, but one, stuff's way too expensive, land, equipment, everything. But 2, there ain't no land where I'm at coming available like that. And if it is, they want absurd prices for it, upwards of $5,500 an acre. I've seen stuff $10,000 an acre for not even tillable ground. But I don't know. That'd definitely be the dream. I like to move off of this highway just because of car noise and everything else, but it's what I got for right now, so might as well use it. Biker going by. think we are, though, going to come into something where I don't know. People are just now complaining about the price of soybeans, but they were worse a year ago. But I don't know, tariffs and everything else have people all stirred up, which I get it, but I don't know. So, the way farms are going, family farms are going bankrupt, dissolving, having to downsize just to keep maintaining. You have the baby boomer generation as they're getting older, retiring, getting out of it, unfortunately dying off. I think there could be a large number of farms that end up dissolving, coming up for sale. I mean, you name it. I think it's possible here in the next few years. It's kind of scary to think about, but it's a circle of life, I suppose. I guess that's getting older, huh? Side note, it was just my birthday about a week ago. Big old 2-7. Boy, does my body feel like I'm 50 though. Whew. There we go. See, that's already so much better. Like, already so much better. I might set you guys up in the time-lapse position so that way you guys can get a good view, and then we'll just catch you at the end of the video. Alright, on to stapling and tying them back to the post. I don't know, like I said, other guys might do it different. I just go to a mark on my hammer is all. It's about 8 or so inches, and do that from off the ground, and then just each wire. The other thing is, like, we might wait till a heavy hauler truck goes by, but this is only a 5-strand thin, so it might look low, but if I really want to, I can come in, put a 6-strand on top. So, should be alright. Man, this post has seen better days, that's for sure. Wow. The other thing is these are like, what size are they? They're like 1.5 inches, I think. Tell me they don't say on here. That's crazy. Yeah, 1.5 inches staples. They're way too big. You'd want it like inch, maybe. But like I said, I like to do things as cost effective as possible, and these do the same exact job, and these are on sale. So this is what we have. Plus, I hope I won't be here forever. So just go up there, about yay. Plus, I'm only putting five older cows that are bred in here, so they're the type where have some range cubes, they'll come out, eat out of your hands. They're real friendly, so I ain't too worried about it. Just something to hold in is all I need. They're due to calve around February, so hopefully by then we're out of the super cold stuff and enough snow. I know this year everyone's freaking out. Which I'm convinced the weatherman doesn't even know what's going to happen, but they're predicting a lot of wet snow, super cold for a week or two, which, whatever. Weatherman can be wrong every day for a week and still have a job. So, I ain't too worried about it. But I think Milwaukee makes like a post staple gun specifically for something like this. That'd be nice. I ain't gonna spend the like $500 that they probably want for it. But I mean, if I built fence for a living, or had a lot of acreage that had fence on it, it might be worthwhile investment. But not for me. We'll show you how to put on some T-post clips, and then we'll just do time lapse for the rest of the deal and be done. So that should work. Alright, putting on fence staples. Or not fence staples, T-post clips. Same process. Just measure out our distance where we want it to go on. Wrap this clip on the back side. I guess you can't see it very well. This clip will wrap around and go underneath the bob wire. Or I guess it'd go over the top. And then you just take I just use a screwdriver. Just take your screwdriver, put it around the fence, you just twist. There you go. I just do 4 notches in between. I don't know. Like I said, it's what I do, whatever. But 1, 2, 3, 4 sits on the 4th one. There you go. We'll move you in a better position so you can get a better view of these ones. Alright, we got you guys set up here. 2, 3, 4. This is what I was talking about. You put it on the back and it'll come up underneath that wire. And then on the other side, you just put a screwdriver or whatever you have like that, and then you just go. You just twist until it comes back around. So it's all the way wrapped around. There you go. You're clipped. Show you the other one. Get another clip out of here. They like to stick together. 4 on 1. Set down below. We might go 5 on the top one. All the way down. Wrap around. There she be. Set you up for the rest of these, but should be about good. Alright, finished up. Looks pretty good. I'm about 6 foot tall. So this is probably about 4 foot high, I think, the fence is. But like I said, leave room, put another strand of wire on. But that wraps up the video. I don't know, as they say, like, comment, subscribe. But till next time.